Hello, hello, hello. Ebba here. It's a sunny day here. We're in Swift Current still. We're not at the casino because the wind came up and it was horrendous. It still is really high, and so we had to leave the casino and come to the Walmart so that we could park differently. And we weren't on such a slant because that was getting really hard for both of us to move around in our motorhome. You'll have watched the last video that we did. I cut my hair. I did it myself. I just kind of split it in the middle, pulled it forward, and cut it. So it's now sort of all one length, I hope. You know, reasonable. I'll get Gary to have a look at the back and he can tell me if it's actually straight across or it needs a little trimming on one side or the other, because sometimes it will. Yeah, I've always looked after my own hair. When I was really young, like in my 20s, not a child, but when I was in my 20s, I had hair that was down to my waist, and it was beautiful. My hair is baby fine, so it's like feathers, and it's very, very soft. But, and normally, like when I was young, it was stick straight. It wouldn't have this wave in it at all. But as I've aged, I seem to have developed a bit of a wave in my hair when it dries, just naturally. So, but when I was really young, like in my 20s, like I say, I went to a couple of hairdressers, and all I wanted them to do was just trim off a small amount of my hair just to even it off. And they chopped it off short. And that pissed me off because, you know, I didn't want short hair. My hair grows reasonably quick, but back then it took a long time to grow. Now it'll grow fast. But back then it didn't, it took a long time for it to get to that length. And so I started doing it myself. I thought, you know, there's no point in my trying to trust somebody that I have no clue if they're even reasonably good. And a lot of hairdressers have no clue how to handle adult baby fine hair, because it is baby fine, and it's very baby hair is not easy to cut. It moves easy. It's like silk. It's like satin. It doesn't have a stickiness to it for your scissors. And I've cut dogs that had hair like that. That's really silky. And so a lot of hairdressers haven't got a clue. They don't know that you have to use a really super sharp scissor. What I use, hang on, I can find them. These are my dog scissors. And these things stay sharp. They are an ever sharp kind of scissor. You don't have to have them sharpened. So they are super sharp. You can cut your, you know, running your finger on this blade, you can actually cut your finger on it. They right now they seem to be sticky, so I must have gotten something on them. But those are, I never use those for anything except hair. And I don't cut Bree's hair. She doesn't need it cut. The only time she would ever need need her hair cut in any place would be if she gets a knot that I can't break, and then I have to, you know, kind of cut it out. But and that usually ends up being behind the ears. Like dogs tend to get little knots behind their ears, and normally I break them out and just, you know, because if you loosen them, you can actually just pull them, and they will pull out, and it doesn't hurt the dog. If it's hurting the dog, then you haven't loosened it enough. Anyway, yeah. So sometimes it'll be a knot that I can't do that to, and I will just cut it, and that I will use those scissors. But I use those scissors on my own hair because they are super sharp, and and that way I don't end up with split ends and all the rest of it. Because with baby fine hair, you do. You can end up with your hair split like all the way up, like just like this side of my hair is where I sleep, so it tends to get fuzzier and tends to break because I sleep on my left side, and and that happens to be because I had the pleural effusions, and you can look that up if you want what it is. On the left side was the first one, and it was the biggest. So I would sleep on my left side because otherwise my lungs were too heavy, and if I slept on my right side or on my back, I couldn't breathe properly. So I am so used to now sleeping on my left side that's the comfortable side for me. Anyway, so my hair will tend to get a little frizzy on the left side because of that. Now, back to what we're doing. Yeah, kind of got distracted. But I oh, pardon me. I had watched the last video, just before I watched this, or started this, because I wanted to know what I had said, and you know, sort of where we were. Because that was, you know, a day or two ago. Slipped since then. In that I had said, you know, we're going to possibly go to Gull Lake and then maybe Medicine Hat. It's only about 4 hours from here to Lethbridge. 4.5 hours. So I think we're going right through. Gary wants to get to Lethbridge now. He wants to get, you know, started in our life again, rather than just being sort of in limbo. He started doing some things about his 3D printing. He's looking at different patterns that he has, things that, you know, once we can be plugged in, he can actually get some printing done, and what we're going to cost it at and things like that. Like, he was doing some costing and some figuring of different things that we're going to have. I don't think we're going to be doing an Etsy thing right away. I think we're going to try and get some sales, and then we're going to look at our things and what's selling, what's not selling, and then I think we're going to put some things onto Etsy and sell them there, because there's a bigger market, and then we'll have to package them, but at least we will be more, it'll be easier for us to package and mail and things like that, because we'll be in areas. We're also going to be looking at getting a post box, even though we don't have an address. We do have an address, but it won't be where we are. And it's, you know, our friend's address that we're using as a mailing address. But we're going to get ourselves a post box, and that way we have an address for our business. And we have to, whether we're doing cash business or we're doing, you know, other sales types of business, we have to look at it as a business. I can't look at it any other way. I have business training and experience. So, you know, for me, it's just, well, yeah, that's what you do. You know, it's a business. So yeah, so I will be setting up our proper books and things like that. I won't use a program. I don't like them, like QuickBooks and things like that. I don't like them. I would rather set my own up, because then it's exactly mine. And my hair is really bugging me. See, I can see my face, and and this is the thing. I can see myself while I'm doing this, and I tend to look at myself. The camera is actually up. I pointed at it. It's actually up there, and so I should be looking up at the camera like this. But of course, there's movement down here, where I am. There's movement, you know, where I'm looking now, which is attraction to me. So I think I've got some fellow who's going to come and mow the crap. There's no grass here. It's just dirt and weeds, and I think he's going to mow it, and that's going to be bad for me. But anyway, I think, because I saw him come across the parking lot with a mower. Yeah, so I keep getting distracted. So yeah, so I can see myself, so I tend to see my hair is weird and things like that, and I want to fix it, and I can't, because, you know, my comb is over there. And anyway, I'll pretend it doesn't exist, and maybe that'll help. Yeah. So we have a day's drive, a 4-hour, 5-hour drive to get from here to Lethbridge, which I didn't realize when I was talking the other day. Because when we had come out, we had stopped at Medicine Hat for a rest, and then we had come through to Gull Lake and slept. But we had left late in the day. We had left Lethbridge later in the day. And then we came from Gull Lake to here. Now, Gull Lake, there's nothing there. If we went from here to Gull Lake, there's nothing there. There's a parking lot, and I think there's a restaurant. But it's a dusty, gravelly parking lot with, craters in it. It wasn't the really bad one. That was something else. Can't remember. But it was the next one, and it still had, craters and stuff in it. Gary's just come in, so if you're hearing noises, that's him coming in the door. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to go through to Lethbridge, and then we can figure out what we're doing from there, and be hopefully getting back into real living and life again. And we'll be looking for we got the bowls. Awesome. You got the bowls. These are actually, whoops, sorry. Can I have them? Yeah. These are actually dog water dishes that you can carry with you. They're cardboard. And they're really nice. And we use them for like cereal and ice cream and whatever we want to put in them. Salads, things like that. Can I do that without... I've put my arm in front of the screen way more times than I needed to. Yeah, so we use them for bowls, because they're good. They can take liquid, because they're supposedly a water dish for your dog. If you're traveling with a dog, you get a bunch of those, and then you can just throw them out. You feed your dog or whatever, and you can just chuck them. They have two sizes. They have these shallow ones, and then they have ones that are a little deeper. And we like these shallow ones, but we haven't been able to find them for a while, so finally got some. Which is good, because we needed to find them. Anyway, yeah, so we are going to get to Lethbridge when the wind dies down a bit. Tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to figure out our life. And we'll take you along for that too, because it's just it's just us living in the RV and doing what we can to get through. So yeah, the guy is here with a mower, and that's going to make this harder for you to hear. So I'm going to shut off now, and yeah, we'll talk to you probably in Lethbridge. Probably, now it'll be in Lethbridge. I don't know what that was. Gary dropped his watch. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk to you when we can, and as soon as I can, I'll get uploading these things. But we'll see how it goes. We do have plans to get a generator. We're going to buy a second-hand generator, and we've got to get a battery, which we haven't done yet. We want to get a battery for in the motorhome, and that way we've got those two things taken care of. Once we've got the generator, we will have our own internet again, and we will also be able to cook and things using our little minis and all those kinds of things. So we might show you a bit of cooking and stuff in the future as well. So you take care, and if you're new here, welcome, and please subscribe if you like what you've seen. If you've made it this far in the video, you probably did, and and give us a little thumbs up, guy. Just click that. None of that stuff, you can subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just click on the button and you subscribe to us, and that way you get a notification whenever I upload a video. That's all. And because I'm not regularly uploading, because I can't, it'll make it easier for you to know what's going on if you want to keep up with us. So take care of yourselves, and all of our subscribers. Thank you very much for being here. At this point, because we haven't been able to get online, I don't even know how many subscribers we've got. The last time I looked, we had 101, that's, that was exciting when we crossed that 100. That's actually a really that's an important point to Google, to their AI system, to their algorithm, because when you get to 100 subscribers, it says to the algorithm, hey, 100 people like these people. And they send you a little, in your back door area, they send you a little congratulations, you've reached 100 subscribers thing. And they wait until you're at 101 or 102 in there, or more, before they do that. So that, because they want to be sure that it is actually going to stay at 100. So the last time I saw, we were at 101. So hopefully when I look next time, we've grown a little bit. But what Google does once you reach that 100 is they push you a little bit more. At least that was our experience before. So we'll see if it happens this time. In the meantime, take care, and we will talk to you as soon as we can. Bye now.